What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so I thought I'd switch it up a little bit and just talk about something, I don't know, out the box, I guess. So I decided to talk about, you know, childhood cereals, you know what I'm saying? One that I really loved and one that I despised, okay? Now, I'm 39, so I'm speaking more in my younger childhood, which would be throughout the 80s and into the very early 1990s, okay? So, some of you guys are younger than me. I think a lot of you are younger than me. So you guys may be more into the late 90s or to the 2000s or maybe even into the early 2000 teens. All right, some of you guys are older than me, so maybe you guys go into the 60s and into the 70s. All right, but for me, the most disappointing cereal that I ever ate as a kid was OJ's. But I used to call them orange O's, okay? Because I just basically go by what I see. It's orange O's. So I used to call them orange O's all the time, but they were Kellogg's OJ's. And basically they're supposed to taste like oranges. And when you think about it, logically about it, which as kids we don't tend to do, it shouldn't taste good. Because basically what you're doing is you're putting oranges in milk. You know what I'm saying? Like by itself, it wasn't that bad. But in a bowl of milk, it was, to me at least, revolting. And it made the milk taste disgusting. Milk should not taste, to me at least, like citrusy or like oranges. You know, and it was, yeah, I remember getting the box of that. I remember I kept begging, you know, my mom, please give me some, you know, that, whatever. So she got me a box. And I remember I ate half a bowl and threw it away. And I didn't eat the rest of the box, you know what I'm saying? And you know, and in those days, you know what I'm saying, your parents didn't believe in waste, you know what I'm saying? If you didn't eat something, shit, honestly, your parents would goddamn be tempted to whoop your ass, okay? So, yeah, that's the last time I got that box. And afterward, until I got older, you know what I'm saying, and started working myself and started making my own damn money, I got a lot less leeway into judging as to what I want to eat. You know what I'm saying? It was always the standard cornflakes, Rice Krispies, you know what I'm saying, occasional Raisin Bran, you know, Total, that type shit. Okay? One thing I do remember about the 1980s too is that there were a lot of cereals that today wouldn't even be in the market. You know, like, because they literally were a bowl of fucking diabetes. You know what I'm saying? They just wouldn't be in the market today. One thing I want to say before I reveal one of my most favorite cereals, this was when I was really young though, because they discontinued it, I think I want to say in the mid-80s or the late 80s, but they discontinued it. I'm assuming for health reasons, because literally you were just eating sugar. Okay, literally it's just a big ass bowl of sugar. But one thing I remember about back then too is that Rice Krispies had a lot more variations as far as the type that you could get. Like, okay, like for instance, we get the regular, like today you can get your regular Rice Krispies, you get your Cocoa Krispies, and you got your Frosted Krispies. I prefer Frosted. Okay, it's really good. But back then, you also had Christmas Krispies. You know what I'm saying, which was the color of Christmas, and it was sugared. It was, you know, flavored. And you also had Marshmallow Krispies back then. Okay. I also remember, and I don't think this is a false memory, I never got it, but I remember seeing strawberry Rice Krispies. Pinkish, like Krispies. I never got them. You know what I'm saying? But it was a lot more different variations of cereal. I know one of the more popular cereals out there when we were kids, and I remember 70 Sports TV talked about it in a video, was Mr. T's cereal. And basically it tastes like Captain Crunch. And for a while, it was probably more popular. It was probably one of the most popular breakfast cereals in the late 80s, early 90s out there. But then mysteriously, they discontinued it. You know, whatever. I remember Dunkin' Donuts had a cereal. You know what I'm saying? I remember Dunkin' Donuts. I remember ice cream. It was either called ice cream cones or Ice Cream Jones. I could never decipher what it was called. You had that, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, a cereal that I really, really enjoyed eating as a little kid, man, and to me, it was the absolute bomb. This shit right here, Waffle-Os. This is old school, alright? I think they discontinued it sometime in the mid-'80s. Like, the last time I remember eating this shit, I was like in maybe first, maybe second grade pushing it. Maybe second grade. After that, I didn't see it anymore in stores. And I didn't see it that much in stores when I was able to get my hands on them. You know what I'm saying? But Waffle-Os was the shit, okay? I think I started eating them, shit, probably whenever I could point it out. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 4, 5 years old. It was delicious. I remember it was 2 different types. All right, it was the one that you see right here, maple syrup, and it was another one, blueberry pancake. I preferred maple syrup. And I remember because they had the fake Yosemite Sam on the cover. All right. And on the box, excuse me. And it was the shit, man. But you know, a lot of those cereals were discontinued because they're just very, very fucking unhealthy, man. It's really just a box of sugar. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's why they've cut down the sugar content of cereals to try to counter America's just terrible fast food and terrible diet collectively. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, those 2 cereals were very, you know, ingrained in my head. One of them on, as far as one I really liked. The other one, OJ's, is just terrible. But you know, the worst, absolute worst cereal that I've ever eaten, like as far as like I knew was gonna be nasty. See, OJ's I thought was gonna be good, so it was the most disappointing cereal. But a cereal that I knew was gonna be gross, and it was even more gross when I actually tasted it. It's fucking Grape Nuts, man. Grape Nuts is the most disgusting, flavorless. It's like eating gravel. Literally, it's like eating gravel. It has no flavor. It's like literally eating. It's like eating a bowl of softened pebbles. Healthy for you, sure enough is. But who the fuck wants to eat that? I'm tripping off the fact people eat it on. And I remember when they used to make commercials for it, and had people eating it and acting like it was delicious. I don't know. I really don't know, man. Another cereal that was pretty healthy though, but I liked it. I thought it was real good. To the point where I put a friend of mine on it until they discontinued it for whatever reason, or at least I just don't see it anymore. It was a cereal called Just Right. This is when I was older, like you know, teenager and shit. It was in the 90s. It was called Just Right, and it had bran flakes. It had, I think, dates, almonds, raisins, and I think it had something else. Dates, almonds, raisins, and something else I thought it had. But anyway, it might have had walnuts too. But anyway, I think it did have walnuts. That sounds nasty. All that shit together, man. Bomb. You know what I'm saying? Absolute bomb. But that's pretty much it, man. Like, those are some cereals that I remember from my childhood. I remember they also had E.T. cereal, which I never bought. I just thought in my head it would just taste nasty. Dunkin' Donuts, you know, never tried that one. I just wasn't thrilled about putting milk over donuts. You know, I think by that time I had learned from my OJ mistake. So I was like, nah, that's gonna suck. Now, Nerd cereal actually was pretty fucking good. It didn't really taste like Nerds per se. I can't exactly think of a cereal that it tasted like off the top of my head, but it actually was really good. But you had two different sides of Nerds. At least when I was eating it, you had one side of the box that you open up, and it would be like the red colored or whatever, and then the other side would be the grape colored or something. But it actually was a pretty good cereal, man. You know what I'm saying? But at least back then, cereals were more inventive. You know, they were the rave back then. Breakfast cereals. You know, kids loved breakfast cereals, and it was just this explosion of different type of breakfast cereals back then in the 1970s, 1980s. Some of them failed horribly. Some of them did very well for a long stretch of time. And some of them, you know, just remain hallmarks. You know, they may not have hit the market with a plum, but, you know, they've just been standards types of cereals for a long period of time. Raisin Bran, as long as you don't put too much milk in that motherfucker, Raisin Bran, you know, it's really good. It does its job. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to go into detail about that, but it's good. But at the end of the day, that's pretty much all I got to say, man. Tell me what you guys think.